Welcome to Fred Chando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta has got some bad news for Raila Amolo Odinga because the mountain and the lake can no longer meet anymore. Of late, I have followed the politics around Mount Kenya and that of Lake Victoria. Apparently, they seem to be reading from the same chapter. But as things look like today, this marriage is breaking. Kanini Kega, Jeremiah Kioni, Peter Kenneth, Peter Munya, and even Martha Karua are loudly silent when Azimio is going under some turmoil. And I have seen people criticizing Kanini Kega when he said that they should unite, the Mount Kenya people should unite. And Jeremiah Kioni the other day said that their marriage with Raila Odinga is over, apparently because they have paid the debt. I want to say this. People should not criticize Jeremiah Kioni, neither should they criticize Kanini Kega. Why? Let us look first at the reasons why people like Jeremiah Kioni supported Raila Odinga. There is one man who led them to the handshake, and this is Uhuru-Gachagua Kenyatta. When Uhuru shook hands with Raila Odinga, he rallied support for him, and that is why people like Kanini Kega were given the task to head Raila's campaign. And so when you see Kanini Kega and Jeremiah Kioni saying that their marriage is over, it is not them who are talking, but Uhuru Kenyatta is sending a message he wants to end this marriage. When you see people like Peter Kenneth so quiet, then you know something is wrong. But can we look at first why Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga came together and shake hands? Because this handshake had a reason. And for Uhuru Kenyatta to decide now that he's ending this marriage, it means that either he accomplished what he wanted or the mission was failed and therefore he has no reason to continue with this. In my own considered opinion, ladies and gentlemen, the following are the reasons why Uhuru Kenyatta got into that convenient marriage then and he wants to break it. Number one, for very many years, there has been bad blood between the Kenyatta family and the Odinga family. Because this story is all known that when we were fighting the colonial masters, they wanted to hand over power to Oginga Odinga, who is the father, to Raila Odinga. And Jaramogi said that Uhuru, he was not going to take this unless Jomo Kenyatta was released from jail. And that long story goes that he insisted and Kenyatta was released from jail and he was given the mandate to become the president. And then the first vice president then was Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Their bad blood started immediately. They started the reigns of power. And you all know that at some point, when Jomo Kenyatta went to officiate the opening of the new Nyanza General Hospital, now known as Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, an altercation broke between them and there was merciless shooting of Luos in Kisumu. And this is one thing that Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to ensure that he finished. And that's why they came together, so that he rubs that very sad history. And they came together with Raila Odinga, hoping that this was going to ensure that people forget, these two families forget the enmity and the bloodshed that happened during their time, and because it was a kind of betrayal. I don't know whether he succeeded, because by the end of this analysis, I want you to help me judge whether he succeeded or it was mission fiasco. Number two, there has been a very bad blood, and I will call it a spade. I don't want to say a spoon because we know where we have come from. There has been a very bad blood between people from the lake and people from the mountain. And this is because for a very long time, even in 2007, the people from the lake felt that Kibaki robbed them of their victory. And so every time, every now and then, there was people fought in 2007. And at the core, at the center of this fight was the people from the lake and people from the mountain. And this war has created a very bad blood. Anytime people we approach an election, people fear that it is going to be war. Because Raila Amolo Odinga has always complained that his victory has been stolen from him. In 2007, he said it was Mwai Kibaki. In 2013 and 2017, it was Uhuru Kenyatta. And at the center of it lies the Kikuyu man, Kibaki, Uhuru, and they feel that he is robbed of the victory. And this is something that Uhuru wanted to reciprocate. At least he wanted to pass over the battle to Raila Odinga so that people from the Nyanza would see and forget all the things they've always complained about. And this is the reason why he proposed Raila Odinga, rallied support for him, and for the very first time, I have heard these claims that Raila got more votes than ever, votes that he has never gotten before. And I want to pose a question. When they came together in a handshake, were they coming together so that Raila could get more votes in Mount Kenya than he has ever gotten, or they were coming together to ensure that Raila becomes a president? According to Jeremiah Kioni, Raila got more votes that he has never gotten from Mount Kenya. So you will tell me, was it about Raila getting more votes, or was it for Raila Amolo Odinga to become the president? And when they say that the marriage is over, does it mean that they now feel mission accomplished? I remember there was a time Anne Waiguru said that you can only rent a Kikuyu, you cannot buy. I don't know who bought the Kikuyu, who rented a Kikuyu. I don't know. You will tell me. And number 3, ladies and gentlemen, Uhuru Kenyatta got into this handshake because he had some phobia against William Ruto. And so he wanted someone who could take care of the interest of the Kikuyu and the interest of the Kenyatta family, his businesses, because he feared the Kenyatta family has really invested in real estate, the milk and processing industry, land and all that. And there was this fear that maybe with the regime change, he was not sure whether his friend William Ruto was going to take care of his interest. And so he felt that Raila, being now an aged man, was not full of revenge or could really work with his enemies, because Raila has demonstrated over the years that he can work with enemies. Moi detained him for 9 years, he worked with him. Kibaki robbed him of his victory, he worked with him. Uhuru Kenyatta, they worked. So he thought that this is the man who could take care of the Kenyatta family interest and maybe part of the Kikuyu nation. And this is the reason why he shook hands with Raila Odinga. But if you look at what is happening today, the President William Ruto has forgiven Uhuru Kenyatta, if you ask me. Because I've seen all the talks about going after Kinoti, going after those who, were against his presidency. Those people have been forgiven, and the war against them, backbiting and chasing them, is over. And I think Uhuru Kenyatta is home and dry. He has taken the peace mission. He's traveling from Burundi to Congo. This tells me that they have reconciled, and it is now business as usual. And therefore, there's no need of going on with this marriage. And number 4, we all know that when it comes to critical situations, Uhuru Kenyatta is always very passive. He never wants to press on. And this has been demonstrated. If you look at in 2017, when the then Chief Justice David Maraga nullified their election, our President William Ruto has demonstrated that Uhuru Kenyatta manifested some weak character, that he wanted to give up. In fact, in the famous "I almost slapped him," that quote, you remember how it elicited a lot of reactions. The then Deputy President William Ruto said that Uhuru Kenyatta had given up when he realized that election had been nullified. He never wanted to go on. He wanted to throw in the towel, and he's the one who came and told him, "Hatuachi, we are not abandoning this cause." And so that tells you the manifestation of the character of our former president. I think he's someone who does not want to press on when the idea is unpopular. He just wants to drop it, and now he doesn't see the need of pressing on with an opposition kind of politics when most of their people are in government. And I think he wants to unite them. He's rallying them to unity. So I don't know whether it is unity against Raila. Is it unity just to come together around Rigathi-Gachagua, or is it around Uhuru Kenyatta, or are they coming together as the mountain? And this is one thing that he is doing. And ladies and gentlemen, after looking at these reasons, you will understand why Jeremiah Kioni put it very plain. He never minced his words. He said, the marriage is over because we have paid the debt. What was the debt? If you thought that the Odinga family and the Kenyatta family are warring factions, they have shaken hands, and now the two families are together. And if you thought the people of the mountain and the people of the lakeside are never reading from the same page politically, according to Uhuru Kenyatta and Jeremiah Kioni, Raila got more votes than he has never gotten before. And if you thought that maybe someone was going to interfere with the Kenyatta family businesses, that is now over. They are working together. And ladies and gentlemen, do not criticize Jeremiah Kioni. Neither should you criticize or Kanini Kega. And don't even question where people like Peter Kenneth are. And when you see Martha Karua quiet when Azimio is burning, don't question why. Because the person who rallied them to support the handshake is no longer for the idea, ladies and gentlemen. And I can assure you that Uhuru Kenyatta is determined to end this marriage. This is a coded message that the Raila Odinga and his camp should take home. It must sink to them now than never. The ODM must come together and regroup, because the Azimio was never to stay after the election. In fact, my next analysis, ladies and gentlemen, is going to focus on Azimio and Raila Amolo Odinga. What is their future and what are they supposed to do? Because Oparanya is gone. People like the former governor of Kisii, Ongwae, are gone. What is really happening? And ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. Please share with me your comments on the comment section to just to know what you feel about the whole saga in Azimio. Bye.